Okay, here we are, Wednesday night class. It's December 23rd, 2015. So we concluded our three-part series class on women and berachot. We saw different sources, we saw different approaches, what have you. Tonight's class is obviously unrelated, but the reason I'm bringing it up is if you recall, in last week's class, which David still didn't put the audio up on, we mentioned the approach of different hachamim to halacha and how they would deal with a case that's brought in front of them. If they only look at it as whatever the halacha on the books is, and source A, B, C, D, E, F, G says this, so that's what must be the answer? Or do they actually look at the social factors involved? They look at the time and place phenomenon and see how they need to be brought into the halacha and what effect they have upon halacha ma'aseh and how the hacham would bring down his ruling. One of our favorite people for that, Rabbi Yosef Mesas. Rabbi Yosef Mesas, we spoke about him countless times. Okay, for you boys who may not know about him, we'll discuss him briefly after class. Okay, it's not something to bring up again right now. Suffice it to say, he was a giant. He was really a tremendous hacham who had no fear to go places no one else dared go. He would deal with things with reality and with softness and sweetness. Something we don't find.
Did you write about Tzit Teshuvah? Is that him?
That's
He wrote about many things, many different topics he wrote about. So tonight we're going to look at a few selections from his book, Osar HaMechtabim. Osar HaMechtabim is a 3-volume work. It's not even a work. It's letters. People would send him a letter. He would write back a letter. Back then, people used to write letters. Okay? There was no texting. There was no emailing. Actual mail. And he collected the letters. So whatever he would write to somebody, he would write it in duplicate. Okay? Once in a while, if he happened to get a piece of carbon paper, if you guys know what carbon paper is.
Right in, like on the bottom.
Really? No, come on. Oh, they still have it. The artists have it.
Listen, think of it as a sheet of black paper. Thin black paper that you would put between two sheets of regular paper. So when you write on one sheet, okay, but it etches onto that carbon paper, which lets off an ink imprint on the next page.
Oh, very cool.
But like invoices.
Yeah.
Like
yellow
invoices nowadays, they don't use that anymore. It's already pre-carboned.
Yeah.
You don't have to use that.
Invoice and Excel sheet.
They don't know. Anyway, it probably never worked before. Doesn't mean a thing to. Anyway, but generally he wrote things over, okay, and he kept a copy for himself. And when he saw he had so many different things, let's publish them. A lot of interesting things. So he wrote halacha. He wrote commentary on Pesukim of the Torah and the Yom Ketubim. He wrote letters, to console people in their death. He wrote letters of beracha when people, getting married or have children. He would write letters of history. He would write anything and everything.
He had a great Haggadah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yep, it definitely is one of the best. But that has nothing to do with Osar HaMechtabim. Okay? So Osar HaMechtabim is a collection of his letters over the span of about 40, 50 years. Okay? So we're going to look at volume 3. We're going to look first at, in front of you have a bunch of pages. So you look at page Kof, Kaf, Gimel. Okay? And we're going to look for question number 1650 on the bottom of the page.
This is on the bottom of the
You see on the bottom of the page is question number
1964.
1964 is the year of the question. I put that there for you so you have an idea of what we're talking about.
Where did he live?
When did he live? I mean,
Where?
born in Meknes, Morocco. Then went to Tlemcen, T-L-A-M. There's no vowels. Okay, Tlemcen, Algeria. He was a rabbi over there. Then he went back to Meknes, Morocco, where he was called in by the Moroccan government to be basically the emissary of the Jewish people of Morocco to the king. Okay, he was also on the Beit Din of Meknes. Okay, the Mesa family was big in Meknes. They're there for centuries. And then from Meknes, after being there back for a while, then he moved to Israel. He became rabbi of Haifa. Passed away around 1975. Okay, good.
Just his family was Rabbi Shalom Nesash, was his nephew.
Cousins. Who
was the chief rabbi of Jerusalem.
Okay, so now we're looking at page Kof Kaf Gimel. Siman Elif Taran. Okay, so this is, like we said, letter number 1650. And you can see the letter was written to him by Asher Marciano. Okay, Yedidenu Harab Nikhbab Ben Ahmad Kahar Asher Marciano Yasu. It's a question where Rabbi Marciano wrote to him 5 different questions, and he gave him obviously 5 answers to the 5 questions over here.
When you say Kahar, what does that stand for?
The word Moreno Harab. So, Asher Marciano was a Moroccan rabbi. He is somebody that moved to New York, studied over here in New York a lot, and he became a rabbi. He's still alive. He lives in Queens. Okay?
This guy who wrote it?
The guy who wrote the questions. The guy who wrote the answers.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, you could go meet him one day.
You know?
I don't know him, but you could go meet him one day if you like. Anyway, so 1964, he sent some questions to Morocco, to who? To our friend. Well, 1964, he just got to Israel. He was already just got to Haifa, Rabbi Mesas. So he sent these questions to Rabbi Mesas. We're looking at question number 2. So let's look at question number 2. שאלת אישה רוצה להתחתן בחול המועד של פסח בלי סעודה, ואם לא יסדרו להם כתובה בקידושים, ילכו אצל השופט העממי ויתחתנו על ידו, כי הדור פרוס ואיש הישר בעיניו יעשה בענייני הדת, ובכן הם יוכלו לסדר להם כתובה בקידושים בחול המועד. Now you boys are sitting here. What kind of question is this? What's the problem? So get married. We have a halakha.
Translate it.
We have a halakha. We're going to get to translation in a second. We have a halakha. And the halakha is not something that somebody made up in their backyard 200 years ago. It's a halakha that's in Mishnah. So Mishnayot, Masechet Mu'ed Qatan, says very clearly in Perek Rishon, Mishnah Zayin, in Nos'in Nashim B'Mu'ed. You don't get married on holiday. Lo Betulot, Velo Almanot. And it continues, Velo Meyabemi Mipene Shesmha Hilo, Al Mahazir Hu Girushto, Ve'osa Isha Takhshiteh B'Mu'ed, Bihuda Omer, Lo Tasu Mipene Nivul Hula. Our concern is the first part. During the intermediate days, they may not take wives, whether virgins or widows. Makes no difference. And why? Because it's an occasion for rejoicing to him. We'll discuss that in a moment. It's discussed in the Gemara. Okay, they go through it in the Gemara. Also, Gemara, obviously, Masechet Mu'ed Qatan. And it is halakha in Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch is very clear on it as well. There's no question whatsoever. You open up in Siman Takmu. Okay? Siman 546. Dine Irusim v'nisuim b'chal mu'ayid. First halacha, in nos'im nashim b'mu'ayid, lo yitolo v'lo amanot. And exactly quotes the Mishnah. No questions about it. Yes?
The question specifically mentioned within a suit.
We didn't get to that yet. Don't worry. Wait, you want to see the book here? Nice, beautiful Shulchan Aruch. Yes. Okay. You can lock the book together. See, you lock the book, sure, with leather straps and buttons and everything.
What year?
It's beautiful. It's not old. It looks old. What year? I'm going to tell you the year right now. It was printed in Yerushalayim. Hatarna. What year Hatarna? 1895. Like I said, not old.
Not old.
It's not.
He's right.
It's really not old.
Pretty old.
No.
Pretty old. Come on. I was 20 years old.
What year is your father born?
1931.
So, is 1895 an old book?
No.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's my point.
That's the same thing. You're saying, what year was your great grandfather born?
No, but this is somebody. This is somebody. No, but this is somebody that you easily associate with.
Yeah, of course.
That's why it's not old. It's not. It's a book that his father could have easily been using when he was a kid. Different. Yeah. Now you don't have books anymore. Now everything's on gizmos.
Yeah.
It's really not the same. It's,
Yeah.
you know what?
He's
You know
right.
what's not convenient?
Look how many holes are in that book.
You see all these pages. You know how hard it was to find these pages on a phone? Even on a computer, it took a lot of time. Opening up the book, you find the pages in seconds when you're looking for something.
It's convenient. Look how small it fits in your pocket. You can have so many books in front of it.
Okay, so you have them in your pocket. What are you going to do with them?
You can read them.
But you don't.
Me, I said,
Big difference.
I want to.
People got more reading done when they had books than when they have them in the electronic version.
Yeah.
Electronic version becomes more for reference, becomes more for easy searching.
Yeah.
Could you stop yaying him already?
Well, yeah, I'm paying him for that. Okay. So let's return to the question. The question says, there's a woman, and she wants to get married on Halam Mu'ayid Perah. Okay? Simple wedding, no Sauda, no nothing. In other words, they're simplifying it. That's no Sauda. But if they will not prepare for her Ketubah and Kiddushin, in other words, a Jewish marriage, she has no qualms. She will go to the judge, okay, and get married in civil court. Okay, she'll go to down City Hall and get married. And why? Ki dor parus. It's a free for all. Everybody sees religion as non-confining, and they will do anything they want as far as religion is concerned. That being the case, keeping that in mind, can we arrange for them a Jewish wedding, as it will, as we would call it, on Halam Mu'ayid? Look at the genius of Rabbi Yosef Mesas. Quickly, he approaches the question, he analyzes it, he answers it. דבר זה הוא שנוי במחלוקת בגמרא. Right away, instead of telling you like I brought you, the Mishnah says A, B, C, you can't do it. Shulchan Aruch says A, B, C, you can't do it. No. Right away, he decides to approach it differently. There's a mahluk in the Gemara regarding the question. לדעת רב בלי סעודה מותר ולדעת שמואל אסור. So in the Gemara, when they discuss this question, they say, Rab says, in the Gemara we have Rab and Shemuel, and they always argue about everything. So Rab says, there's no Sauda, can't really call it a, major wedding. It's not going to involve, taking away from one simha for another simha, what's the big deal? It would be permissible.
But they're not talking about home war, they're just talking about regular wedding, right?
We're talking about Hawla Mu'ayyad specifically.
No, but Rabban Shemuel also.
Talking about Hawla Mu'ayyad specifically.
Oh, okay.
That's what the Gemara is talking about. Okay? So, Rab, no Sauda, Mutar. Shemuel, with the Sauda, Asur. Va'anan, Kaymadan, Shmuel. And what do we do when we follow halakha? We follow halakha like Shemuel. כמו שכתב כל זה המגן אברהם באור החיים סימן תקמו יעוין שם. And this is the halakha, and we know it, and this argument between Rab and Shemuel is mentioned even in the Magen Abraham on this same siman that read of Shulchan Aruch, siman taf kof mim vav. You got the meme you wanted. Takmu. Okay, siman 546 in Shulchan Aruch. Uldat kullam. Okay, according to everybody. Af Sauda in Ha'isur illa midrabbanan. And everybody is in agreement that even with the Sauda, it is only Asur midrabbanan. כמו שכתב מהרש"א ומהר"ם שיף, זכותם יגן עלינו אמן. בגמרא דמועד קטן, ח' יעוין שם. If you open up the Gemara Moed Katan on page 8, you'll see it over there. והטעם העיקרי, and what's the main reason for this? הוא משום שאין מערבין שמחה בשמחה, because you do not want to mix two happy occasions together. You have the happy occasion of the holiday and the happy occasion of the wedding. By mixing them together, neither one gets full happiness. Each one is diminishing from the other. And they use the asmachta. They relied upon the pasuk that says "V'samachta b'haggecha." Oh yeah, "V'samachta b'haggecha." You know what that means? V'lo b'ishtecha. Be happy in the holiday. Don't be happy with your wife. Okay, so therefore you can't get married. This is the way Hacharim live. This is it. It's Gemara. Oh, you look it up. It's the Gemara. Ve'omnam, but now he changes his tune. Ve'omnam ha'idana, but now nowadays, ba'avnotenu, due to our sins, shirabu hamutarot ve'hosaot. That everybody has so many things that they have permitted, and so many, if you want to call it, expenses or outings. And ish sam alib kelad inyan simhat mu'aid. Nobody, not some people, nobody whatsoever pays any attention to the happiness of the holiday. He's a realist. You don't hear Hachamim talking like this. כי כל העם מתקשה בעלי עבודה ובעלי מסחר עובדים בחול המועד. Everybody from all realms of society, they work. They go to their stores, they go to their offices, the wholesale, retail makes a difference. Everybody works on حول الموعد. كمعسهم بحول مماش. No difference between random Wednesday and حول الموعد Wednesday. All the same. قام أروحات اليوم إن أقيم البيت راكم منكم عبودة. People aren't going home to have a festive holiday meal for lunch. They're having a sandwich at work like they usually would. Again, no difference between regular day and حول الموعد. وعشيرة عام هم مسعين من مكان لمكان وإن يدعين ما سمحت معي كذا. And the rich people, they go traveling. Sounds familiar. They go traveling from place to place.
Have a meal.
They have no idea what the happiness of the holidays at all. They're just happy about their vacation. And even among the Haredim, the religious people, I yet to see any difference in the way they act on Hal Mu'ayyad and the way they act another day.
Timurah's difference?
Yeah. רק ריבוי טורח גדול בחול המועד בביקורים בימים ובלילות מבעד לבעד מחסל החסר. Rather, what are they doing? They're all busy. Busy with what? Visiting their friends and relatives. From morning to night, from home to home, from place to place. And because they're so busy visiting, they're not feeling the holiday. And it's a burden for many of them. Oh, gotta go visit this one, gotta go visit that one. ויש גם הם נוסעים למקומות אחרים, and those even travel even further. ואם כן, אז ידעו ליהו כל הטעמים. If that's the case, all our reasoning has fallen apart. It's all gone now.
He's basically talking about Marat that wasn't religious.
He was talking about, he's in Haifa right now. 19...
Again, another
He's
non-religious
talking,
area.
what not? The whole world was studying different here in Brooklyn today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where?
All the J-dubs don't work on Formula
All the J-dubs, really?
Yeah.
Really?
They use
These are Hasidim you're talking about.
They talk about the Hafez Hayim, and it's true to learn on Formula and they all try to follow as best as they can.
Very good. We're not talking about Ashkenazim. We are not Ashkenazim. We're not talking about Hasidim. We're not Hasidim. We don't go to Nelly Block and we don't go wearing shiny black coats and white stockings, okay? We're talking about regular people, okay? And regular people go to work. You go to work, I go to work, he goes to work. Who are we fooling? Does your father work? Does your father work? Your father work? Your father work? Thank you. Thank you.
Your father doesn't work.
Your father never works. So. No, but seriously,
My father's a man.
let's be honest about it. So you can't tell me he's talking about Morocco not religious. You can't tell me he's talking about Haifa not religious. You can't say that. He's telling you, because even the Haredim is telling you. قام اسر حريديم لورا ايتي شاموي وتمورا بن حول المعيد الشهري وتحول.
Very rich, much more ritual.
Much more ritual. Okay.
Now than they were then.
And back then they were real and today they were, phony.
But they would be here rituals, everything to them.
Okay,
And
fine.
it wouldn't work on Home and they'll just go crazy. So
I think it's only among the Hasidim, the modern day Hasidim. Regular Ashkenazim go to work.
Havetz Chaim, a lot of them Havetz Chaim on that. But he writes in Shna
I'm not familiar with Hafez Hayim following the people.
Shna has the whole thing on it, and writes better, and they.
I know plenty of Ashkenazim in the pharmaceutical business, in the medical business, and in and plenty of attorneys. They all work. They work.
I mean, maybe the difference nowadays is there's no school, so maybe that adds a little more awareness.
When we were in school, we had school.
Now I know.
We had school. You had school.
I'm saying maybe now it's
No, so we had
it's a
school.
little more. I would say taken seriously, but at least today the kids are home, so not parents won't work every day. They'll go to Great Adventure one day or go to I don't know where.
Go to Great Adventure. How many Jews are there?
Okay, so that's Sarat Yom Tov.
No,
That's
I'm
Sarat
just saying-
Mu'ayyid.
yeah.
I'm saying
No,
it's
it's not.
I'm just saying it's better than 1964 where nobody did anything for the holiday.
All right, a matter of opinion.
But Johnny, in the beginning of the paragraph, when he's talking about not about Billy, so that Mishad,
Right,
that's more assumed.
right.
But didn't the Mishnah say that you can't have wedding period?
Yes, we understood.
So how come they even bring up Sarah over here?
The Gemara always elucidates the Mishnah, correct? So Mishnah is nice, pretty, soft, and concise.
Right.
And the Gemara takes one line of Mishnah and writes 2 pages on it because they have all different types of. What did the Mishnah mean? When can't we get
Right, so,
married? Okay.
so how are they explaining the Mishnah then?
What do you mean how? They say, so one guy is telling you the Mishnah is referring to when you have a Saudah, you wouldn't be allowed. And the other guy is saying if you didn't have a Saudah, that's not the type of wedding they're talking about.
So,
That would
so
move
that
on.
one of the Mishnah of having wedding, one is saying that you can't have it, and one is saying that you can.
I'm not answering the question.
Talking about Sarah with regards to a wedding.
Yes.
Right? The Mishnah said that you cannot have a wedding on Hom Mu'ayyid.
Mishnah says you don't get married on Hal Mu'ayyid. The Gemara comes and the Hachamim in the Gemara discuss. What does that mean? What is the Mishnah telling us? So one school of thought is telling you that it means that if long you have a Saudah, That's what a wedding pertains to, and you can't have the wedding. The other one says no. If there's no Sauda, you can't. In other words, different ways of interpreting the Mishnah.
Okay.
That's what it is. Like anything else that the Mishnah talks about. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the Gemara.
And it said that, just to clarify, that Rav Shemuel said.
Not Rav Shemuel. There's a Rab and there's
Rab
Shemuel.
and
Two
Shemuel.
separate people.
No, but Rav Shemuel said.
Who's Rab Shemuel?
There's two different people.
There's Rab.
Rav.
He says one thing, and Shemuel says something else.
Oh, wow.
All right. So Shemuel
Funny.
said. So I thank you for.
Not a problem.
Um,
Shemuel says wedding asur. Period. With or without Sauda, asur.
That's it.
Okay? The Rab tells you if you do not have the Sauda, then it's mutar. Then it's permissible. Shemuel tells you with or without a meal, it's asur, and that's generally the way we follow halakha. When we have mahlokat of Rab and Shemuel, we follow Shemuel, and that's the way the halakha is brought down in Shulchan Aruch. Okay? Good. Now he continues. ומפני חילול השם שלא יעשו מעשיהם זר, מעשיהם להתחתן רק על ידי גויים, ויהיה חולי זה מדבק גם באחרים שאף בשאר ימים יזלזלו בכתובה וקידושין. He goes one further. Hacham Yosef says over here. He goes, Hilul Hashem that's going to go on over here now. Okay? If they go and they get married through Goyim, okay, this is going to be a major Hilul Hashem. Why? Because when somebody, people, oh, he did it. If he did it, it's okay. I could do it too. Nobody has anything about it. You know what? It's okay. Go down to court, have the judge get us married. We don't need the rabbi, we don't need the hazan, we don't need ketubah, we don't need kiddushin, we don't need anything. So what's going to happen? Now on a regular day, forget about Cholam Moed because they want to get married and we don't want to marry them off. On a regular, December 23rd like day, they're going to say, you know what? I'm going to go down to the courthouse and have the judge marry us and forget about it all. And what? Ki kol hador omer al perek halamed v'habiru bezilzul hadat. Everybody is out there, like we said before, free for all, but not just a free for all. Everybody is looking to learn from his friend how to belittle the religion. This is the condition. Uma gamot. One more top of that now. Ki bizman hazeh יש סער גדול מאוד מאוד לעכב על האדם את הזיווג אפילו יום אחד כל שכן 7 ימים. Nowadays, it's much more difficult, much more sorrowful, much more painful for a person to delay marriage. But not just the marriage, על האדם, לעכב על האדם את הזיווג. To hold them back from coupling. Okay? He chooses his words carefully. Okay? It's very difficult. One day. And now we're going to want him to wait 7 days of a holiday? It's very hard. People nowadays, it's very difficult to tell you. ובמקום סער לא אסרו חכמים דבר כזה. And now, since this is the issue of sa'ar, the hachamim did not forbid such a thing. Ve'af sheyesh. You may not like it. I think it's gorgeous how he approaches it. Ve'af sheyesh ri'uta ahet. עוד של ימי העומר שנהגו שלא יסעו נשים. Maybe you want to say, okay, now you have a counterpart, not a counterpart, but a a friend. Here's a friend to look. So I say, oh, okay, 7 days, it's nothing. Look, you have the Omer, in another time period, okay, that the people have to wait for marrying. Al kol ze, even so, in limnoa, shelo lesadel lehem huppa v'kedushin, In any case, still, let's not hold back from doing the Hukban Kiddushin. But why? مبني حلول الشم استعراض جوفاء ومامونة. Because of Halul Hashem. Halul Hashem is what? Is that people are going to end up getting married without Ketubah and Kiddushin. So they're going to be married not the way the religion intends it to be. It's going to be Halul Hashem because other people are going to learn from it and do it. So it's going to cause a problem. And you have the Sa'ara, the Gufa, you have this sorrow, or for the human being, and Mamuna. Maybe there's a financial issue that he didn't tell us before.
Wait, how did the Gufa?
The Gufa. You didn't understand before by the culling. We said, you look at back at the bottom of the page. It tells you, Ki bizman hazeh, the last two lines of that page. כי בזמן הזה יש סער גדול מאוד מאוד לעכב על האדם את הזיווג אפילו יום אחד וכל שכן 7 ימים. Okay? So nowadays it's very, very difficult to hold back from a man to couple up. Okay? To make a union. To have relations. So what we're doing today? Okay. Okay? For one day, all the more so 7 days. So over here you have Sa'arad Gufa. Umamuna. He's telling you a financial issue. I don't know what the financial issue he had in mind over here, but there must have been something else in the case. Well, in this case, it would be cheap if he's not doing a Sauda, yes. Va'adifa mizeh. But more than this, he goes, Masinu laharambam. Because I found besides all the reasoning, all the explanations that I gave you, I found some very powerful words in Rambam. You think Rambam, you think Mishneh Torah. But he's bringing us from Teshuvot Rambam. You know how Rambam wrote Teshuvot too. Like any Hacham, somebody sends a question, sends an answer. So we have Teshuvot of Rambam. So,
he published himself?
No, he did not publish them himself. There was no such thing as publishing in the days of Rambam. Right?
Say, he organized it though, or no? Like stuff like a later Hakam put it together.
Basically, most of the stuff was found with his signature, in the Guinness. A lot of stuff was found in the Guinness, but it had all his handwriting and signature. What do you want more than that?
No, I'm not saying it's not valid.
Oh, it's very valid. Anyway, so here's the problem though. He writes, "Ma'asinu b'Rambam zechutho yaghin alinu amen b'tshuvotah siman kof lamed." Now here was the problem. Finding siman kof lamed. Siman kof lamed. Okay, chapter 130. In what version of Harambam's Teshuvot? There have been numerous versions, and as they found things, obviously these responses of Harambam have expanded. Even the most popular version among many rabbis was something called Teshuvot Pe'er Hador. Okay, the glory of the generation. And those are Teshuvot of Harambam. The problem is there were a lot of mistakes in it, and some of them Teshuvot were not 100% complete. And I believe 1 or 2 Teshuvot in there weren't even of Harambam's, they've discarded afterwards. In any case, there were numerous versions of Harambam. I've found the best Teshuvot of Harambam to be the ones that are put out by the society called Miqisei Damim, by a particular, what was his name? Blau, I think, right? Yeah, Yehoshua Blau was the chief editor. And he's actually presented Teshuvot to you in the original, if it was originally written in Arabic, in the Arabic together with the Hebrew translation. It has the footnotes and what have you. So I found it, the second volume, in Siman 211, Reshud F. But we don't need the whole Teshuvah. We're going to look at the piece that he's telling us over here. בעניין מי שקנה שפחה ונטען עליה. Every person, he bought himself a shifha. Okay? He bought himself a female servant. Okay? ונטען עליה. And he leaned upon her. Okay? You got it.
Would you like to answer the question what that is?
You got that one, but ושאל אם מותר לשאנה. Now he asked, can I marry her? וכתב בזה לשונו הטוב. Right away, Mary.
Yep.
ואף כי הנטען על השפחה משתחררה אסור לשאנה. Even though a person who leans upon the shaf'a and he frees her, it would be forbidden to marry her. מכל מקום, מפני תקנת השבים, אמרנו מוטב שיאכל רטב ולא שומן עצמו. You like that?
Take the juice and not the actual meat.
Right. Basically, okay. In other words, because we know this, we don't want people to turn away from religion. We want people to return to religion. Okay, and that is, the greater good in many cases. We said it's better let the person eat, okay, the juice. Let them have the soup, okay, and not the fat itself. Okay. In other words, you have this pot of stew, okay? Let the guy just have juices from the stew and not the actual stew meat itself.
Why buy
People
cow?
like that.
Is he saying have some fun?
No, he's not saying have some fun.
Say marry
In other
rather
words,
than-
it's okay. No, it's all right. Don't worry. It's quite
I'm good with metaphors, but
because you have to, because your mind is thinking about a different thing.
so just to
Let me explain that one second. Let me explain to you. Okay. So we have a halakha. Halakha is if a person has a female servant. Okay.
Jewish, non-Jewish.
Not my concern.
Okay, fine.
He has a female servant. And he has a relationship with her. Okay? And now he frees her. Okay? She's no longer a servant. The law is, it is forbidden for him to get married to her. Okay? He's gonna keep doing with her anyway, if you tell him no. So, let them get married. That way, at least he's doing it, out of sin. You understand?
Okay.
So this is where his metaphor comes in. Let him have the juice without the meat. In other words, let him do something at least that would be considered within the guidelines of halakha, as opposed to have the whole thing being tameh. Okay? That's how he's looking at Harambam. So this is Harambam's words. Okay? Look at it in Harambam itself. See? לפي شنطعان الشفحة بنشتحرر السولو لسائلنا لفتح الله. You want it in Arabic? Leave it in Arabic.
Arabic.
What are you going to do with it? You're not going to understand it.
Sounds good though.
Sounds Sephardic.
It starts in Hebrew. You're not dealing with straight Arabic. It's Judeo-Arabic. Okay? You'll take it, yes, because you just learned Alhamdulillah a year ago. Unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah, you missed that part. لأن هنتعال الشفحة بنشتحرها لا يجوز لا جوزه لا ختح الله لأن قد أفتينا مرات في مثل هذا النوازل أن يحرحر ويزوج فعلنا ذلك ببناء تقنات الشبيم وقلنا مطاب شيوخال رطب ولو شومان عصمه واعتمدنا على
Sounds like they're gonna kill him.
على قول أزال عيت لعسول أدوناي هفروا تراتيخا.
Oh, wow.
Okay? عيت لا ده هرمبام ثانية ويسهل عليه الزيجة لها برفق ولأن يضرب لها أجل لهجتها ألا أخرجها أقادتها بفعل عزراء عليه السلام والتعالي يصلح في فسادنا كما وعد وقال وأسيراكو بدلايخ كتب مشي.
Waiting for Alhamdulillah being there. So.
No.
كم واحد
We're gonna get one. No.
Joe,
No.
it's worth it just to come to the classroom.
I'm glad. So, for those of you who didn't understand what we
Yeah,
said,
very.
okay?
Sorry, Mom. We'll do it in Hebrew for you.
I was thinking about David over there. Harambam didn't write Latino, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But he
Sorry.
mixed Hebrew and Arabic.
Judeo-Arabic. Judeo-Arabic intermingled. Okay? Like, same way Latino has Hebrew words in it.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know, it's easy to understand.
For those who grew up with it, maybe.
No, I'm saying.
And he probably knew how to carry a tune also. He was Egyptian. Okay.
All right. So anyway, so we explained that, and we said, and we used this metaphor as Barry said, okay. And Hanamam is telling you, and we relied upon the word of the Hachamim, Ait la'asod Adonai heferu toratecha. Okay, this is something that the Hachamim bring up in Masechet Berachot, that when it's time to do something for the sake of God, for the sake of the Torah, sometimes you just have to uproot certain laws of the Torah in order to keep the Torah. Okay? And we find a way to help this marriage go along in a pleasant and blessed manner. Okay? And then we establish a time for the wedding. Okay? The same way Azra HaSofer did. Azra HaSofer, he's referring to an incident in his Azra in Perek Yod. If you open up the 10th Perek of Azra, you'll see a whole long, it's about 30, 40 Pesukim that deal with a situation where Azra had to do something. Okay? And because we know we're trying to do something for the better good, we hope that God will fix things for us and not look at what we're doing as a mistake. Okay? The same way the Pasuk in Yeshaya says, I'm gonna free all the things that are hindering you. That's the way he generally entered all the Shubot Rambam, Bechatab Moshe. Okay? And Moses wrote. That's what he referred to himself. Mm-hmm. No, far from that. Thank you. Far from that.
Alright, let's not get on recording.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying far from that. Very different style. Okay. No. So this is what he writes over here. Okay, and you see he's coming to the end of the Teshuvah now. Okay. בחתם שם ומשה זכותו יכין עלינו אמן ועוד יש להאריך ואין צריך. Good, and I can write more about this topic, but I do not need to. You already got the gist of it. This is what he's telling you. I'm not finished. I'm turning it over yet. Okay? This is what Yosef Mesa is telling us. I just want to jump back to Harambam 1 second.
It's a very short Teshuvah. I mean,
That's
compared
what
to,
I'm saying.
I mean, compared to like Teshuvah that we've done that are pages and pages, this is like 2 paragraphs. Like,
Most Teshuvah was even short.
right. I'm used to like
I understand what you used to.
hours and hours.
Yeah,
We're not finished.
Yeah, you're quoting.
Very different style. So, just want to show you something. We've mentioned Acham ben Sion Meir Uziel before the Rishon Sion, correct?
You wrote an article on it, right?
Did I write an article? No, I did not write an article about
Someone
him.
wrote an article about
Rabbi
it.
Busila wrote about him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
you were close though.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so just I want to show you something.
We don't ask your opinion. We have on recording. We don't know what I said. Thank you though.
What? What happened? Why'd you say that? I didn't hear you. I liked the article very much. I think it was a very nice article. The only thing, it lacked sources. No, it lacked sources. Otherwise, it was a very good article. Anyway, so Rabbi Uziel is dealing with a specific topic about a convert, okay, who got married to a Jew. And he's dealing with some different issues, and he goes on to get to this Teshuvah of Harambam. Now, mind you, in his version of Teshuvot Harambam, it's Siman Kof Lamed Bet. So Rabbi Mesa's version was Siman 130. His version is Siman 132. Same Teshuvah though. And he quotes, this ending portion of the same Teshuvah. But now look what Rabbi Uziel adds. דבריו העיקרים אלה הם לנו לעיניים בכל דבר שאין בו איסור גמור. And he continues. He says, this Teshuvah, these words of Harambam, these should be our eyes. These are our eyes for any and all issues that are not 100% explicitly forbidden. Look how important what Harambam wrote and how Rabbi Uziel is viewing it. We have to find a way to keep things flowing, to keep the Torah intact, even if we need to breach its walls every once in a while so it doesn't fall apart. It's a key message. So, without thinking about it, Harambam laid groundwork for Rabbi Mesas and his approach in dealing with a question, and Rabbi Uziel and his approach dealing with a question. This is a very old Sephardi approach of how to approach things, even though it may go against, the Mishnah, even though it may go against the Gemara, even though it may go against Harambam in his Halakha, maybe it go against Shulchan Aruch. But if it's going to do more good than harm in the long run, the Hachamim saw a way to use difficult situations to their benefit, the benefit of the people presenting the situation and to the rest of the constituents. Very important lesson to be learned from here. On this, Michael, you had a question.
Yeah. So where do you draw the line between 100%?
I'm not the rabbi.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not the Hacham. I'm not the Hacham. These were great Hachamim. These were great Hachamim that came from a tradition of Hachamim. Each one of these guys that we're dealing with, their fathers and their grandfathers, they were all Hachamim, and they were constantly with Hachamim. Rabbi Yosef Mesa's father was a Hacham, his grandfather was a great-grandfather. Same thing with Harambam, same thing with Rabbi Uziel. These are all great rabbinic dynasties. So they had this inbred in them as to how to approach things, how to go about things, how to deal, where to draw the line, where not to draw the line, how to consult with, with their, what's the word I'm looking for, not compatriots, colleagues, thank you. It's not my place to say. I can't tell you, I don't have that in me. I could look at their words, I could study their words, I could get ideas, but I can't be 100% sure. But I thought this is a very powerful teshuvah. That's teshuvah number 1 for tonight. Now let's go to page 214, Resh Yod Dalet. Okay? Go to page Resh Yod Dalet. Is the next page? Whatever page is this?
Yeah.
And we're looking at the bottom of the page, question Elif Tatpaz. This is question 1887, and it's from 1954. Okay? So now 1954, he's in Meknes, Morocco. You done taking pictures?
Take it inside. I'm not going to get it later.
למעלת החכם וכולי כבוד מורה הוריו יצחק الملح ישמרו סרו בגואלו Tlemcen. You see Tlemcen, Murray?
Yeah.
Shalom, shalom. חכם לבב בית תלמיד סיבייה מכתביו היקרים הגיעוני בשבוע החולה וראיתי את השאלה ואשר נגזר עליהם פי כבודו והוא That's an introduction. We're not concerned. Here we go. Here's the question. نصري نسوي إم إسرائيليت بدينهم. You have a Nasri Christian married to a Jewess according to their laws. In other words, Christian law. Okay? V'yada lo bat. Okay, they got married, Christian ceremony, and they had a baby girl. V'gadla v'nishtaddecha im bahur kohen. Now the girl grew up and she ended up getting engaged to a kohen.
Wow.
I knew you'd like this. Imutar likah ota leisha. Can he marry her?
They're already engaged.
They're engaged. He gave her a ring. Call it what you want.
No, but nothing halachic.
No,
Oh,
nothing
okay.
halachic.
But it wasn't Kiddushin or anything.
No.
I thought you meant like they got engaged.
They got engaged, like when you get engaged.
I'm sorry?
No, when you get engaged, you ever heard somebody gets engaged, you know?
Yeah.
You get the ring.
You know, he surprises her and, whatever way, or, he closes off Times Square, whatever. I don't care what it is. Whatever you guys do nowadays.
Imagine you could do that, close off Times Square.
In this community, you can do it.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know people in the community have buildings there, you get things done. Things can happen. Anyway. So, what are we going to do now? Now you're thinking to yourselves, man, if this was Brooklyn, they would have broken this off, before we got anywhere near there. The first date would have happened, and if it did, forget it. It'd be, your woman running around yelling bloody murder 24/7 until it stopped. It's a different world.
Safe involved.
Okay? Safe? All right. In any case, so this Rabbi Haq al-Malach was dealing with this question. And now Rabbi Mesas is writing to him. What does he say? Teshubah. Yefeh hora kibudo shehabbat keshira illa shepiguma likehunna. Now, dear Rabbi Malach, he said very nicely that the girl is keshira, but she is peguma for kehuna. Okay, so she's keshira as Israelite. Okay, her mother was Jewish. She's born a Jewish, no matter what. She's Jewish. But she is peguma for kehuna. She is considered defiled for a kohen. Uchmo shemifrash b'shulchan aruch. It's in Ibn Ha'il, Siman Dalet, and halacha he and halacha yotet. Shenochri ve'ebed habba' al bayt Yisrael havalad kasher illa shepagum lekehuna. Okay, whether a nochri or a abed came upon a Jewish girl and they had a baby, the child is considered Jewish, but pagum for kehuna. V'neset lo teseh, כמו שכתב הבש, סעיף קטן ב' והחם, והחם משה, סעיף קטן ג' יעוין שם. אם נסית בהלמירי, לא תסה. כמו שכתב בספר ויען אברהם, שובה עין תל בסופה, משם הרב הגאון המשמח, זכר צדיק לברכה, בהסכמת הרב גאון, כמו מונה הרב רפאל הנקווה, זכר צדיק לברכה. ואף, don't worry, I'm just going to fly through the part of this now. ואף שהמחבר כתב שהוא בעלם דבר ממקום הדין הזה, פשוט שהיה מחוסר ידיעה בעניין נישואי האלמירי. יהוא דבר קשה מאוד מאוד להפרידו יותר ויותר, אלא פעמים מהפרדת זיווג דתי, שם בו לא אחור זמן ולא הוצאות, והפרדת נישואי האדמי צריך אחר זמן של ימים שיש בהם שנים, וגם הרבה הוצאות של עורך דין וכולי וכולי, ובכן הדבר פשוט לכל מבין עם תלמיד, ללמוד נישואי האדמילים מנישואי הדת בקל וחומר. دلا أترحوه ربنا ترحى مربا زمان عمسار ربا دقوفا دمرنا فأخ إم لون يسيد وبيدا فلو بألميني أسول كوهين كحتا.
What's your
But-
hat, lady?
It has to do with the Christian marriage. Okay? You have to understand, he'll throw in French terms. Okay? Because Morocco and Algeria and Tunisia, they're all under French colonial rule. So he'll throw in plenty of French terms.
The Jews all knew French?
Yes, they all knew French.
You know, do you know?
Okay, but Turkey of teens in the 20s and 30s, the Jews for the most part also, the educated Jews all knew French too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're saying that because you're agreeing?
Grandpa, funny story. Grandpa was kicked out of French school.
Why?
I think the teachers said something like anti-Semitic.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, and he punched his teacher. Like 4th grade. He got kicked out. They
The
never
story
hear
of
about
Ricky
it.
Carey in the army where he punched his officer.
Nah, you don't hear those stories.
Maybe Tuck will tell it to you next week.
So, Joe, just to clarify, because
I ran through it on purpose because it's really not important.
no, but, so, if the girl has a Jewish mother, right, and a non-Jewish father,
Any Jewish woman,
right,
okay, a woman that's born Jewish, and she had a child, that child is Jewish.
Yes.
yeah, but if she has a non-Jewish father, she can't marry Cohen. Did I get
Right,
that?
yes, okay. Now, let's continue. אמנם כל זה הוא אם תימצא אוזן קשבת לקבל. All this that we said above is all very nice and well. Who's married and who's not married, and how they're married, if they're married, civil, they're married Christian, what they're going to do and what they're not going to do, and can you accept it or not accept it. It's all beautiful on paper. Theoretically, it's wonderful. Okay? Only if the people are willing to accept. כי חופשיות דור אטמה כל אוזן משמוע הוראת החכמים, because the freedom of our generation had blocked off everybody's ears from listening to any rulings of the Hachamim. ומה גם, and not only that, בדבר גדול הזה, שכמה טרחות והוצאות טורח ומוסיף כל בחור על בנות הזמן עד שמוצא את הראויה לו ונקשר עמה בקשר של קיימה ועזה כמוות הבא, איך יוכל לכבוש יסוד לשמוע הוראה זו. So now you have this boy, okay, he fell in love with the girl, okay, and we know how difficult it is, for somebody to find their mate, and how difficult if guy goes out and he dates and don't like her and she doesn't like me, until they finally find one another and they decide, Mr. Right has met Mrs. Right and vice versa, and now they fell in love and they think they're perfect for each other, and now you're going to try to break them up? Good luck. Who are you fooling? Again, showing you how he was very well connected with the realities of life.
Yeah, you understood.
He understood what was going on. He was, he was dealing with it. He said, so it's a big burden on any young man and any young woman for them to find one another and to make that love connection. Bachin, אני אומר, אם יהיה איזה נס היוצא מגדר הטבע, if there happens to be some miracle outside of the realm of nature, שיקובלו דבריכם בשובה ונחת ביניכם לבינו, that in some strange manner your words are going to be easily and pleasantly accepted between you and him. הרי טוב, wonderful. ואם תדעו שיעשה לכם ריב ומדון, but if you know that there's going to come quarreling and fighting out of this, או איבה ממאן דהוא, or there's going to come out hatred from this, נוכל לומר על פי מצב הזמן והשידוכים בזה הם כמו עבר וכנס. We could say shiduchin like this falls into the category of avar v'kanas, that he already transgressed and entered. כי קשה מאוד להפרידן. You all understood avar v'kanas. Okay? It's as if he already did it. Okay?
Even though there's nothing halachically.
They didn't do anything, but it's as if he's telling you. So once they've already have done it, they've already become as a married couple in a sense. Because think about it like this. This is outside of what he's saying, and I could be wrong. But we know Ha'isheknet Shlosha Derachim. Right? Yes?
Oh,
Okay?
okay.
Ha'isha Neknet B'Shlosha Derachim. The woman is acquired through 3 different types of means. Marriage is Kesef, money. You pay. Shetar, Ketubah, and Bia, relationship. So over here, Al Pi Masab Hazman, according to the conditions of our times, I'm telling you, the Shidduchin Bazeh, this type of engagement, Him Kemu Awar V'Kanas. It's like if he transgressed and entered. Okay?
Isn't that a tough statement?
Yes, it is a tough statement. Of course it's tough. That's why we didn't end the Shuvah here. Very tough. It's going to be very difficult to separate them. Because I'm not pulling this out of the thin air. Again, don't forget, Rabbi Yosef Mesas didn't just, do magic hocus pocus and say, okay, I'm going to put my hand through the hat and pull out some sort of magical answer. He did his homework. So he's telling you, you have sources. He's going to talk about sources now.
It's a little liberal.
Yes. It's not liberal.
Yeah.
Liberal's the wrong word. The word is what?
No, it is
Tell me.
liberal. It's not left.
No, it's not liberal. And it's not left. What is the right word?
Straight.
Understanding.
Rigid.
It's the Sephardi way.
Koha lehetera adif le. Is a term that appears in the Gemara 6 times. The strength of allowing something is the preferred method. This is the way of our Hachamim, not just our Sephardic Hachamim. This goes back to the Gemara. Our religion is not like people want you to believe, a confining, stifling religion. It's a religion of life. It's a religion of reason and understanding. We have rules. We have guidelines. We want everybody and everything to fall with that. But at the same time, we are realists. We are part of reality. We are not living in a cocoon or in a time capsule someplace else. Okay? We are here and now, and things happen, and we have to deal with it. And when things happen, even if they don't happen the way we want them to, we find a way. We try to find a way to make it fall within the realm of Torah, Judaism, so the person and the situation is not looked at as some, alien. Okay, and so they're accepted, and we can move forward.
I think the whole system must be stronger. than the individual to keep the strength.
Okay, that's the Ashkenazi in you.
No,
Yeah, it is.
just thinking the
No,
system.
it's the Ashkenazi in you.
No, the
You know,
Ashkenazi part,
it's,
they
it's,
change it as they want.
It's the Ashkenazi system that we're growing up with. It's the Ashkenazi system, in fact, that we're all seeing since birth. Okay, it's not a Sephardic mindset. The Sephardic mindset is very, very strong in the law, but if somebody happens to go outside of the law, we don't write them off.
That's the Halabi way, though. We stick with
Hey, the
it.
Halabis are fanatics. Halabis and Jadbaim, fanatics. Jadba. Jadba is an island off of Tunis.
Jeddah.
Okay? You know, there's a country called Tunisia?
Yeah.
Okay. So off of Tunisia, there's an island called Jerba. Jerba.
Is it Kohanim?
They're Kohanim, yes. Almost everywhere on that island is a Kohen. The Jews I'm talking about.
So how do you
Okay.
do Kohanim?
The Jews.
The Jews, right?
Yeah.
How do they do Kohanim?
How you do Kohanim?
Why doesn't it feel
How about a better one for you? How do you do Shib'a Odim B'Torah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. You have to, like, certain laws can't be, or certain Hagim have to be trusted, right?
So they hush on these soils.
We're from the country. We're from the tribes that weren't. You know.
They're probably also really from Jerba. Anyway,
Really?
no, I meant it as a joke. It's all right, no problem. But yes, Halabis were very, very,
We're expecting flowers every week now.
in my opinion, Halabi very, very stubborn, very non-accepting of many things. Okay,
That was a good class to listen to, by the way.
So wait,
about bring books, you mean?
Yeah, it's a great book. It was a 4-part series. It's on
So that's not a good thing,
DoTishua.com.
right?
I don't think it's a good
Huh?
thing.
How long ago?
How long ago? I would say it was about 2003.
2003, wow.
Bernie Book.
Is that even real?
Was it that long ago? No, 2003.
2004,
Who
2004.
doing 2003,
You were in
I was in kindergarten.
7 years.
No problem.
You hear that tissue.
You'll get the phone.
Probably 2004 then.
Anyway, we can look at it.
Relax, my friend.
I don't want to hear. Hearing the class online, hearing the class now.
Well, then you
You
listen
don't
to it.
have.
You listen
Murray,
to
Murray,
it.
Mine is limited.
Murray,
Okay.
you have to, you have to understand.
Yeah.
If I just tell you one or two lines about it,
You're not going to get
you're
it.
not going to understand what's going on. You do need to listen to it to understand what was going on,
And
and
then
who
you
were
come back
players,
to us. Yeah.
and why, or why not.
So
No, no, seriously.
You're very good with the lines. Can you do that every week? Just like add a line? Like, will you be there?
Wow.
And then you get the
Yeah.
little sound
Anyway.
in the back.
All right, can we get back to this?
Larry, please.
All right. So, David feels it's too liberal. I don't see it as liberal.
I just
I
feel like
s-
the laws and sometimes
I
they're
s-
individual.
I see. No, you have to understand. The Ashkenazi world created this, and again, Ashkenazim are the ones who started the Reform movement. Okay, then you had Orthodoxy was a response to Reform, and then you got conservative someplace in between there. But because certain Ashkenazi Jews felt the law was too confining or non-accepting, they created a reform movement to break away and do differently. Instead of the general Jewish establishment accepting them and working with them to try to bring them back, they pushed them away. Okay? And not only did they push them away, but they pushed themselves away as well. So now you had the reform pushed in one direction, Orthodoxy, which became a response, began before it was reform, there was no such thing as Orthodoxy, and Orthodoxy pushed themselves, one direction. So now you had, instead of more or less middle of the road Jews. You had leftists and rightists. Okay? Neither one.
But they weren't striving for truth. I mean, the reform people who were reforming just did it for convenience, for what they felt. And
Very
they
good.
strived for truth.
And so now what do we have on the right side from the Orthodox?
Oh,
You don't
they're
have truth
also
either.
wrong. Yeah, they're also
Exactly. So both points wrong. Among Sephardim, you didn't have this. Among Sephardim, you had, we are Jews, and we know what our tradition is, and we know what our halakha is, and we know what halakha are, and we also know that people don't always follow everything, and there are those that are going to go against, but we're not going to write them off. We're going to find a way to keep them within the fold of religion as best we can. We're going to find a way to work with them. We're going to find a way to make sure that their children and grandchildren always stay Jewish and connect with the Jewish people. Different approaches.
I mean, the reforms definitely still connect Jewish people.
You know how many Reform people do not connect, and they've lost it over the years? You have to understand, from the time the Reform movement started till today, many of those Reform people, if probably the majority, are already married out of Judaism completely, and they don't, and other than, being members of a Reform temple and going,
barbecue night.
once a year for a, for a bar mitzvah, barbecue on the beaches, those that are more connected. Huh?
They think
Sound
of
like
themselves
Well,
as
Beth Miriam, what do you mean?
You don't see the signs
Yeah,
everywhere?
we're on.
Barbecue on the thing. You never see on.
Every Friday and
Oh.
Not every
Yeah.
Friday, right?
It's like
One
the
Friday
Bethel,
night
you don't see that?
every, one Friday night of July and of August, they
They
have
merged.
barbecue.
Those two merged together.
I know there's one on Grant.
You're thinking
Yeah.
of Bethel.
You don't
Yeah.
Bethel.
That's-
They merged with the other one.
They merged with the other one from that was on.
Malvin.
No. What that street over there by Logan?
Oh,
No, it was a little girl.
okay. So they have barbecues.
No, that's not. The barbecues are in Elbron. Beth
But I'm saying,
Miriam.
but they all identify as Jewish.
Hmm?
They intermarried,
Yeah, fine, but they've been connected.
Right.
Yeah, they have,
So why you not doing
the night of the Haggadah, they have their Pesach Seder with
They're what?
their Pesach Seder. Okay.
I always wanted to say
Yeah.
to you.
Okay, so instead of having a Haggadah, normally they're having bread and masa and a ham.
Yeah, I'm sure they know what Pesach is.
They-
They
I-
probably don't know the story of halachot, but they have matzah.
And bread
They have
and
a
ham.
seder. Yeah, they have a seder.
Bread, masa, and ham.
People love to have a seder, and they know nothing about religion. They
Yeah,
love seder.
no, they know it has to do with the Exodus.
They know, yeah.
They know.
They've seen the Ten Commandments.
Great movie. Okay, so let's continue now. Okay. Alright, Barry's giving a close now. You have whom upon to rely when you're in a tight situation. And they are not just anybody to rely on. You have giants. Okay, and the Reef mentions them. שكتاب بحزينان لربوات أحريني لباسكي لكاشي بلا مسيمي فيقوم لك هن يعوين شام وهنودع وهني who's هني I don't know who he is. Anyway.
First time everything.
No, it could be the Hayy Israel. I'm not sure. Because I'm not sure which one it is. It could be a lot of different views. No, it's referring to a specific book. That's the problem. So there are a lot of different books with similar names, or even with the same name, but you have to know which one he's referring to. I don't know which one he's referring to. And he's not giving us a page or chapter or anything, so it's difficult to say. There's no footnotes. והני הכריע כמותם בראיות, יריון שם. וגם הגאון מהרשל זה, אוקיי, בשלמה אוריה, זה יסיד ברכה, הוא בעוד ברא בקורבן נתנאל, הראש במות מחי, סיון פה, הכריע דלו כהראש, זה יריון שם. בפרט גדול המורים הרמב"ם, שמכשיר לכתחילה לכהונה, ואף דאנן התק, okay, so he's telling you now that the Rambam does allow such a person for kehuna, no problem. Yeah, really. Okay. ואף דאנן התקה דמרן מלכה זכותו יגן עלינו אמן סמכינן. Even though we are subjects of our King Maran, and that's who we rely upon, מכל מקום בשעת דחק, in any case, when we're in a pinch, כדאי הינהו רבותה ארייבייתה. Okay? Worthy of those rabbis who are like lions, لسموك عليهم, to rely upon. כמו שכתב בנידת طيب, כדאי הוא רבי לעזר לסמוך עליו בשעת דחק, וכזה חומר בנידון דידן, שיש כמה רבותה דמכשירים. So he's using a line from the Gemara Nida that talks about B'Eliezer when you have a difficult situation and you're in this type of, when you're in a pinch, Shat Dahak. So all the more so in our case that we have a number of rabbis to rely upon. One of them, of course, or the most important, being the one called the Rambam over here. Yeah.
So if the Reef and Rambam agreed on this, so how did Maran come to his conclusion?
Do not ever believe that Rabbi Yosef Karo followed this 2 out of 3 rule across the board.
I think you should repeat that again because
I think everybody heard it.
Time you should say it.
Maran, Rabbi Yosef Karo,
Yeah.
mentioned that he is going to follow a rule of 2 out of 3 for every halacha. He did not do that. He did it in many cases. He did it maybe in the bulk of Shulchan Aruch, but not throughout Shulchan Aruch. Many times he made a decision to go a different path. Many times, not many times, but at times he went against all 3 and ruled a different way. Okay? So we're not going to discuss that now.
He said he's going to always do it, or he said he's going to try to.
He said he's always says this is the rule.
He
Says
said
this.
this is the rule.
This is
he's
the
gonna
rule.
follow.
Yes. Yes. And he did not follow.
It's a class in itself with a few of them on that.
What's your take on calling him King Maran?
No problem. That's the way he was generally referred to by many people.
Didn't we have a class in that also? Last year? Yeah.
Okay.
And you were there.
Ve'al.
Yeah, you were here.
All right. ועל עניין הגר שאמר כבודו שאמרו לך משמעי שיכולים לגיירו להסיעו אישה בחול המועד להסיעו אישה היא תוסף שלך דלה התגלנה עליך רק לגיירו ולגיירו הדבר פשוט שערי. Alright, so he's going into a different topic over here completely. I didn't realize that before. But we don't even need to go that far at this point. Give me 1 second. Give me a pause here for a minute.
Do both.
Okay. So, second Teshuvah looks like we cut it off short, but we didn't cut it off short. Basically, it's a segue from the first Teshuvah to the third Teshuvah, which we'll hopefully get to next week. Again, we're going to look at situations where the Hachamim, and it's not one rabbi by himself, it's usually, Rabbi Mesas together with the Beit Din, okay, not always, but usually together with the Beit Din, they have to come up with interesting responses, okay, not necessarily interesting, but interestingly correct responses to deal with situations that would normally seem forbidden, and obviously all within the confines of halakha to keep the Torah intact and keep people within the folds of Judaism. To be continued, God willing, next week.